Alright, right here, as we looked, I think about a week ago, you guys, this is the blueberry cheesecake, and it's coming in great. Got some more electroculture going in on her, getting her nice leaves going. She's starting to get some of her bud shoots are starting to form. Bud shoots are starting to form down in here. I did a little bit of a different design on this electroculture. These are like, remember, this is all electroculture grow. You know, anything to stimulate the roots and the growth. And they have been, they've not, their immune systems are great. The dirt's been staying great. You know, when I do my tests and everything on my dirt, the fertilization, it's not lacking anything really. And then I think I like, instead of grounding them, I think I'm going to go with, I'm seeing more results out of the full circuit with, instead of just running a ground. This is just grounded. These are full circuits. That's a full circuit, that's a full circuit, that's a full circuit, that's a full circuit, that one's a full circuit, grounded, grounded. Oh, and this one's grounded. I'm sorry, this one's grounded. And then my next one, what I'd like to do is you're supposed to be able to put a ring of copper down at the bottom, like a copper, you know, like a circle of copper, and you can get a ring and you make a ring, but you kind of make like this, it's like it's almost like a little pyramid that comes up to go around your plant when it's real little. And it's, you know, to also help, if you just ground it, then it's going to also help collect and keep the, you know, energy that collects in the air. It's supposed to send like energy around the plant. That's why I have this above the plant. So as it collects the air and it goes down, right, whatever, this is like kind of right above the plant. They say it's supposed to be giving it a little bit of stimulation too. But again, this is this is probably my, what, Tyler? My 10th auto that I've made, that I've crossbred on my own. This is called the Wild Wedding Cake. I got over here, which we don't know if she's going to make it yet or not, but that's the whole point of running the test, to see what does what. This is Three Bears OG by Miss Fito. I think they're going to be getting a call. But anyways, here is the Netherlands Mutant. Look at them leaves. No, they're not duck. It's not duck foot. It's not Frisian duck from Dutch. What is that? Dutchman seeds or Dutch passion seeds? I forget which one. I don't even know. So, but anyways, that's straight from Netherlands. That's from I can't really. I'm doing a document on it on another channel. So once I get a little bit more out of her and I can release a little bit more information and things, now I don't have to keep it so variegated with the genetics. I'm going to let everybody know. But if you're wondering what kind of leaves those are called Polygram Swag number 2 leaves. And then over here, this is my brother's Space Invaders 2.0. I put it in the middle, it accidentally went from a little bit, you know, it's a little bit darker spot of the tent. Now it's in a little bit lighter spot, so it's getting a little bit of this pigmentation in it. It's not a bad thing, but it's not really a good thing. So, you know, once the pigmentation leaves, that'll be better. It's just letting me know that she's absorbing a lot more light than what she was getting. Again, all heads are beautiful. She's getting lower apicoles coming out down here, you know, lower bud shoots. Leaves like this now, usually you kind of want to try to keep, when you go to do your lollipopping, super cropping, underneath cropping, it's really all about making sure you leave an outer shell and getting rid of the inner shell that kind of stops your canopy. Like this one I'm letting it get right now. Once it gets a little bit bigger, I will go through and I will do the same thing and I'll clean it up and clean it out like I did this one, and then they will both get super cropped at the same time. Whether that's doing like some hardcore super crop defoliation, or it's doing you know, just some hard, you know, just some normal super cropping and creating some nice knuckles on them. And when you do super cropping, that knuckle helps produce energy and gives your flowers, it enhances the terpene profile too. So super cropping is kind of good, but you just got to be able to do it at the right time when you're using autos. Again, these are all autos except the mutant. And the mutant is going to grow slower because it's a mutant genetic, meaning the genetics in it and the stuff that it's going to produce, it just takes a little bit longer for it to grow out. Now, with that being said, not necessarily different variations in the colors of the leaves, but the leaves are supposed to come out more like this. The more they come out like this, the more you're on track for a better thing. So I'm still right now running only one of my vertical lights. I have 4 of these. I usually have one in that corner high, one in this corner a little bit low, and then I have the 2 on my bars. Well, really, I run them diagonal, to be honest with you. So it'd be this corner or this corner is where my vertical bars will go. One up high, one down low. And then I got 2 that go in the middle. Again, one down low. So if this one's low, I'm going to heighten this one a little bit. Since the other one in that corner is going to be higher, I will drop this one down a little bit more. Otherwise, if you guys don't do that, it's going to confuse the plants, and some of the plant might go one direction towards one light, and it might grow the other different direction towards another light, which we don't want to do that. But if you keep them at a nice level height and equal them out, they are going to grow more or less accordingly. So, and this here, if you look at my bar light, I still have 4 bars turned off at the moment. They're still praying. The PPFD numbers are reading great. It is currently 77 degrees in here with a humidity of 60%. I got a Pure Enhancement purifier with a charcoal filter inside of it that does a 5x5 area. I got another air purifier down there, but a different style of the Pure Enhancement, a different version, and that one there actually does a 6x6 area. So for the time being, it will sit there, but after a while, I will have it hung up over here, dropping down by these plants. So I also run back here in my ducking. I always keep a HEPA filter in my ducking. Since I'm not running an extra charcoal filter, there's a HEPA filter down in there. And always, guys, you want to remember too, if you have lights, green lights will more or less, if your lights are all turned off at night and you have something with a green light on it, it could possibly make your plants herm. That might sound weird, but if you guys fact check it, it is there. See how I have these sitting in front of this? Because again, with it being digital, it gives off a light. So at night, you don't want that 54% showing and everything be dark, but yet there's still some light in your tent. That will confuse your plants too. Either or. So red's not bad at night, as long as nothing's on them. But you definitely do not want any green light anywhere pointing on or anything, even if it's just a teeny little green one. As far as even on my dehumidifier, guys, this is very important. Even on my little dehumidifier, I covered up the green light. It is that important to cover it up because this green light obviously is sitting lower than my plants. So with that being said, yes, I have learned my lesson, and I have had plants come out kind of half, I don't know how I want to say this, but they're half the bottom half is like starting to hermaphrodite in just a few spots, and the few spots are where the green light was hitting. So, and right now I have my fleas on is turned on. Oh, it's turned on 40%, and it's ballast. I have my 150 watt HPS going at the moment. And then I have my 4,000 watt Samsung Schlux light, which is one of the best lights I feel out on the market. It comes with these slides, so you can put everything if you want. You can have your side shields here, or if you wanted to, if you come down here and look, you'll see I have one side shield on to help guide and round the light, okay? Because I don't need any light over here for nothing, not that much. So, but one thing you can do is to help focus your light directly straight down. You can also buy these slides, and you can also put them in between your lights, like so, if I'm not shaky here. So that way there, you can help focus your lights straight where you would like them to go. You know, if you have one bar you feel that could be giving one plant more light and the rest of the bars are doing their jobs, like this one here, it's a little darker on this side, so I'm going to add the bars right here. And I did this, and I took this off last night so I could show everybody in the video today. But as you know, from me putting this on here, now the light's kind of rounded to more or less come down. It helps kind of aim your light as opposed to your light spread out by a 4x4 or a 2x2 or a 3x3. It's going to help direct that light downwards where I'd like it to go. This right here is Pound Town. This is Pound Town, my brother's first ever successful crossbred of CBD Space Invaders 2.0. That is let's leave it at the Green Mutant for right now. And then over here you have Grease Gun. This one is your beautiful Grease Gun right here. You can tell by the blueberry cheesecake, it's going to be a nice indica. These nice, thick and wide fingerlets on here. So most time, not all the time, but most time if it's a little bit more hybrid leaning, they will be a little bit more wider, kind of like a medium, you know, like this, a little bit more of a medium and not so flat and wide. Now when it's a hybrid like this or something, you'll run into kind of a wide but skinny. Now this is a sativa, and if you look at her, her leaves are real skinny. So always, and there's also land races out there called, people don't know, but you also have you don't have just hybrids, sativas, and indicas. You also have Afghanicas, which are land races, variegated land races. Most of them are variegated land races from Afghanistan. So, but anyways, guys, I hope you like it. I have the electroculture running through here, touching one of the leaves. All it really needs to do is touch it, you guys, or lightly wrap it around it, and that's about it. This leaf down here, look how nice she's doing. She's barely even getting any light down here. And look at how beautiful the full circuit around her is keeping her nice and healthy. Look at the arm that comes from her. The arm's the tallest arm on the branch, or on the stalk. Comes almost all the way up to the top head. So when I go to super crop this tonight, I'm going to try, you know, it's all going to be laid out. You want to open up your middle of your canopy. The more you open up the middle of your canopy, you're going to get a nice beautiful airflow. Your plant's going to love it. It also helps with bud rot, mold, and if there's any moisture underneath your leaves, because that's where most of the mites like to stay. More or less, you're kind of giving your plant, you're keeping your plant system dry so no bugs or anything can hide up and get in any little nooks or cranny because of the moisture. You're taking care of that. You're giving it nice steady airflow through the canopy. So guys, that's kind of right now. And then in my pots, I do a 50-50 mix. I got FFOF at the bottom. I have from the bottom all the way about halfway up, and I have lava rock running in the bottom of my pots, which are basically big stones that they look like coral, but they're kind of aerated to help the pot aerate out more. And then I have, you know, from halfway up, I do just a straight seedling mix, and it is more or less just for when they're seedlings. And it has everything viable in there to carry them up to about 4 or 5 weeks old, and then it'd be best to start adding some nutrients to them, or some top brews, some top teas, or maybe some top amendments even. You guys can see by the drainage down in just this tub here that this beautiful girl here, whatever, has nice drainage to allow everything to go through. And you guys, if you have something that you overwatered and you're having problems with it, it doesn't hurt to aerate out your holes. You stick a skewer about this long like you get for your shish kebabs, and you just go down, make sure you twist so you don't catch any of the roots or hurt any of the roots, okay? Or the other thing is a lot of people have been doing is you can also, this sounds weird, but you can also use a tampon. It will soak up and absorb that moisture, and you're going to want to stick it right down close to your root ball. more or less you're going to want one on each side of your plant, and that will help soak up a lot of the moisture down by your root ball, so your root ball is not getting waterlogged and your roots don't stay waterlogged and overwatered for long. But by aerating these out, you're creating air holes, airways, and those airways are going to hit your roots, and they're going to want the roots don't like air, so it's going to cause them to prune. Okay, to keep them from pruning, they're going to suck up as much moisture and nutrients around them as they can to stop them from pruning, so they can stay wet and moist. So, in other words, you're basically teaching the plant and helping the plant raise its uptake level and intake levels so it'll drink and eat more. I've also got a very good thing right here. This right here is very good, you guys. Microbe. It's called Simpro, but simply professional microbes. These are all the beneficial things out of this. You got it for your vegetation formula. It helps in blooming. It's a well balanced. It helps with enzymes, and it's got some seaweed extracts in there. It's good for all medias. It helps with foliar pathogens, meaning stomas on your leaves. And then it's also got a little bit of silica yucca, which yucca helps keep the moisture spread out evenly throughout your root ball, so it just doesn't collect all up in the middle of your root ball. And it also does other things. It's got good microbes in it. It's got fulvic acid in it. It's got a little bit of seaweed, seaweed, which, like, as you can see, helps promote and balance out growth and boost things. And it's also got your amino acids, and it's got also, I think it's got molasses in here and a couple other things. But the amino acids are going to strengthen and helping with, it gives nitrogen and a bunch of other things, and it helps that provides, for the plant. Now, my other thing is to help create a bigger root system. The Simpro helps your plant. You're basically controlling how much your plant eats with, controlling its carbs and its uptake and intake, and this kind of helps do that. It helps it break down, sugars and carbs and proteins and so on and so forth, and microbes, so that the plant can eat better and it's not as hard to break down. It can get through the root system quicker. Another thing I highly recommend to you guys is these guys are big. They're out of Canada. This is called Microbial Mass. This right here, you can give them when they're seedlings. It's very strong, so if it says 2 milliliter, I usually do 1 milliliter per gallon starting out. But anyways, this here does nothing but help create a beautiful root ball. Bigger roots, more vigorous fruits, and after 16 years, I'm going to have to say that is a true fact. And it also helps not only create bigger roots, but it also helps branch out more bilateral roots, so you don't have to have, see this girl here? She doesn't have a whole bunch of feeder leaves. She doesn't need it because she has the feeder roots down in her dirt. Feeder roots are more or less roots that are going to set up top, and they're going to put out a bunch of bilateral branches. They're not going to be digging down so deep to get more nutrients and bigger uptake, and help the plant get more of an uptake level and uptake more nutrients. They stay right on top, not, maybe a couple inches underneath the dirt. And those bilaterals, by having the bilateral roots, helps you with, instead of having a leaf flare up, you're going to have a flower flare up, to where you're going to have more flower sites, meaning you're going to have more flower sites than you are going to have to do more defoliation and lollipopping and so on and so forth. So that's also the nice thing. If you look at this pot over here, this pot is directly this is not a Dutch aerated pot. This is a special pot from a special company running it, again, another test to see if it works and how well it works. Every single one of these spikes you see come out are all leadway holes, helping the dirt and everything in the pot stay acclimated outright and balanced right, meaning the moisture levels, A. And then B, if any of the roots do come out, they're going to come out, prune up, snap, break off. And the root ball, what it does, the root will kind of retract itself a little bit, and then it's going to spit out a bunch of little roots, which are your bilateral roots. So that will stop, and it'll help me from getting so much of a leaf flare up, and I should start getting more flower sites coming out. You know, I got one here, I got one here, I got one here, I got one here, you know, I got one hidden over here, I got, you know, 3 or 4 on this side here. And basically those bilateral roots will help take, you know, and do a lot of your eating and stuff for you, and your little leaves that are doing your photosynthesizing at that point, your foilers, instead of your big solar panel leaves, or some people, you know, people call them, or they're your feeder leaves. And basically you will not need as many as these big leaves, and these little leaves will still be able to do the same thing and produce a good amount of energy just by having the bilateral roots throughout the plant, because those are the roots that do most of the uptake. The bigger roots are more or less to dig down deep so they can spit bilateral roots off to slowly uptake and enrich in the nutrients within the plant system.